Hello, everyone, and welcome to Algebra 1. My name is Becca Thompson. You can call me Miss Thompson, or you can call me Miss T, because I've had a lot of students do that over the years. We are going to talk today about what is algebra and why we learn it, and then we're going to go into a couple of expressions. Over the course of this year, feel free to bookmark this, find my page, share it with friends. I've been teaching for 25 years. Hi, if you're a parent. I'm also a parent. And we're just going to go, okay? But I'm talking to students. And also, habla un poquito español, and so we might sometimes do some lessons in Spanish to see what happens. But so first of all, let's talk about why are we learning algebra? You know, this is the biggest thing that I've ever been asked as a teacher over the years. When am I going to learn this? Or when am I ever going to use this, right? Why am I doing this? Why is this here? The reality is what makes mathematics beautiful and what makes it difficult is, in fact, the same thing. Math is wildly misunderstood, and plainly, and this is no shade on other teachers or parents, elementary school teachers who don't have, let's just be plain, elementary teachers to get their teaching license do not need to have high competency in mathematics. They just don't. So what happens oftentimes is that kids who maybe don't have the space to have like an accelerated program in their school or teacher that identifies their skills ends up getting either falling behind and getting bored or just falling behind and getting bored. So that's part of it. But the other part is that math is actually fundamentally a philosophy. But it's both philosophy and practical. Like, here's my amazing, I'm just going to show you this. It's actually a signed twins lineup card that I got because I'm a massive baseball fan. But this we can, like, in geometry class, right? You can figure out the area of this. We can claim the dimensions, right? And we can figure that out. And yet at the same time, we have massive parts of mathematics that are just like, what are you talking about, right? So it's that bridge. And math is essentially a language. Please don't forget that. It is a language, okay? Math is a language. It is a language of ideas. It is a language, really, of the whole world. It is, if you read Carl Sagan, the only universal language. So with algebra, let's just do a couple of simple expressions, okay? We're starting slow because it's the first day of school, right? So the first idea is how to write an algebraic expression. That's what my markers were, although I have new ones. So, and we're going to use my old whiteboard that survived COVID. We survived COVID, and so did this whiteboard. All right, so algebraic expressions. This is really taking words and putting it into the code, okay? So if I were to say I have $5 less, I don't want to say than yesterday, but if I have $5 less than I had yesterday, okay? We would create a variable, and we would say X equals money yesterday. And then X minus 5 is our algebraic expression. Can you see this? So zoom in my very fancy zooming in, which is me just pulling this closer. Okay, can you see that? It's backwards. Sorry, that's that. It's just, the expression is you have to pick a variable, okay? So this X is the most common. I like using it because X marks the spot. Other teachers use N because they mean N for number, okay? But what you're doing, and we use letters because those symbols are ones that we know and they're easily repeatable, okay? I could use this as a symbol. I could use what Prince Rogers Nelson turned himself into a symbol. I could use that as my variable. That's not useful because I don't know how to even write it now, let alone recreate it. But I could. The key is the minus 5 because it's less, okay? Less is equivalent to negative, right? Now, before we get too deep into algebra, just know that negative numbers it's not a moral judgment, okay? It's not like oh, she's so negative. That's not what it is at all. It is, in fact, just a directional idea, okay? So we might say you have $5 less because, you lost it, right? Or you could have $5 left because, you know, you gave it to a friend who needed school lunch, right? It's just the idea. It just is less. Okay? So let's go ahead and grab my magic eraser and do a couple of these. Okay? I think I have to invert this. So I've got a couple of 2, 3 here on my handy dandy lookup machine because my printer's not working. That's how we roll. That's how we roll in Miss T's workshop. You know what I'm saying? Come on now. Okay, so the difference, here's the expression, difference of 10 and 5. Okay? So now, we see the difference of 10 and 5, and I wrote the whole thing out as a sentence because algebraic equations are just a sentence, okay? But difference, all right? Difference. Difference means what? Difference. Okay, there's a difference between you and me. There's a difference between what I was just writing and what I wrote now. What does difference mean in mathematics? Difference, okay, and we're going to talk about this at length when we talk about slope. Difference is subtraction. Okay, so let's go over those words for a second. So difference is subtraction. Okay? There are some other words for subtraction we'll get to, but let's just go through sum, summation, sum, not a few. S-U-M, the summation is adding, okay? Product, it's not what you're selling, although this product is mathematics, okay, is multiplication. Okay, and for algebra right now, we're using a dot. Because again, x is my favorite variable, and the multiplication symbol gets confused with x, right? And quotient, which that's a fun etymology. That's the study of where language comes from. How we got quotient. It's about a quarter and a quad. Quotient is division, okay? And this symbol is actually the same as a fraction. We're going to get to that when we talk about numbers tomorrow, okay? Number sets. So back to the question, the difference of 10 and 5. Well, you would essentially say this is, color. The difference of 10 and 5 is 10 minus 5. If you want to get really technical, although I highly doubt your teacher or I would penalize you for it, it's technically absolute value. And in fact, you could have absolute value of 5 minus 10. Because either way, the answer is 5. Okay? But I'm sure this is acceptable. And this is one of the little things that gets confused. I'm going to assume you saw absolute value in pre-algebra. Okay, so there is a great software called CUDA. Moms and dads, I hope you're paying attention. CUDA software. You can generate it, but you can pay. It's a fee. I'm not going to be paid by CUDA. Okay. But I've used them a billion years as a teacher. You can generate, or they have free worksheets. They don't have how to do it, but they have the problems and they have the answers. They might actually now have it how to do it. Anyway, I'm not getting paid by them. This is not it's a great resource. Almost every teacher uses it. CUDA. A-U-T-A, CUDA.com. Okay? So, this is just turning the language into an algebraic expression. Okay? So, if I said, let's do one more example and then we're calling it a day. Okay? So, if I said more than x, okay, because this is what you're going to get in CUDA or what you're going to get in your algebra class. Again, more than. Okay, I didn't use the word sum, but more than what you had. More. What is the symbol we use for more? Okay? Give me more, give me more. Original. Adding, right? So you want 7 more than x. Okay? And again, you can have x more than 7. These are the same. Okay? They're them. They're there. All right. We're hopping up on 10 minutes. Stay tuned. Again, bookmark. Give me a follow. I'm just a teacher trying to help the world, like me too. like we all do. You know what I mean? And have a good day. Talk to you mañana.